Hey guys, so in today's video, I'm going to be discussing all things peel-off base coats. Now this was a super highly requested video for my channel, as I get multiple comments on every video asking me about it, so I figured I would go ahead and make a video discussing all of the questions you guys have. So let's get right into the video. So to start off, I'm going to talk about what exactly this video covers. So I will be talking about the peel-off base coat basics, doing a Q&A, as well as showing you guys multiple different demos. So what exactly is a peel-off base coat? A peel-off base coat is a base coat that you can apply before any type of nail art for super easy pop-off removal, and it is used to mainly reduce the use of acetone as well as time when wanting to take off your nails. There are also multiple different types of peel-off base coats. So the two most common types are water-based and glue-based. So water-based peel-off base coats are typically a nail polish consistency. They apply clear and dry quick, and it is my personal preference. There is also glue-based, which are slightly thicker. They usually have a sort of white tint and take a little bit longer to dry. And then there are just some examples I have on the right. So the Oont and Hollow Taco peel-off base coats are both water-based. And then, for example, the Sally Hansen Big peel-off base coat is glue-based. There are 4 different peel-off base coats that I've personally tried. The first one is the Oont peel-off base coat. Second is the Hollow Taco peel-off base coat. Third is the Sparkle & Co. peel-off base coat. And the fourth is plain regular glue. So first off, I mentioned I had tried the Oont peel-off base coat. This one retails for about $10, and it is water-based. So here is what the bottle looks like. I personally picked this one up from Live Love Polish, and as you can see here, it has a nail polish consistency and it looks clear. So here is what the application is like on the nails. It applies just like regular nail polish, and there really isn't a scent to this one, and it glides super easily onto the nails. And for drying time, it took about 5 minutes and 22 seconds. And here's what it looks like fully dried on my natural nail. Second, I mentioned the Hollow Taco Peely base coat. So this one is slightly more expensive. It costs $11, and it is also water-based. So here is a look at the bottle. And just like the previous one, this one is clear and applies just like regular nail polish. So here's the application on the natural nail. It applies basically the same as the Oont one, and it also has generally the same drying time. And here is what it looks like fully dried over my natural nail. Third is the Sparkle & Co. peel-off base coat. This one is $10, and honestly, I'm not even sure which type of peel-off base coat this is. It sort of looks and feels like a glue/latex base. I'm not completely sure though, so don't quote me on this. And here is what the bottle shot looks like. So as you can see, this one does have a pink tint to it. It is not clear, and it also does have a slightly thicker consistency than the previous two. And when applying this one to the natural nail, it is slightly harder to apply and definitely feels more like a latex or glue. However, this one did dry pretty fast in only 1 minute and 4 seconds. And here it is fully dried, so you can see it does dry clear even though it does apply pink. And lastly is glue. This costs only $1 to $2, and obviously it is glue-based, and I didn't do a demo for this because honestly I wouldn't recommend putting glue on your nails. It has never worked out good for me, and I personally just don't like it. Now that we have covered all of the different types of peel-off base coats that I have, I'm going to do a peel test to show you guys how exactly they work. So here is just a little chart. On my pointer nail, I will be using the Oont peel-off base coat. My middle nail will be using the Hollow Taco Peely base coat, and my ring nail will be the Sparkle & Co. So just keep this in mind when I'm showing you guys how they work, just so you can keep the different types straight. I will also be trying all of these peel-off base coats with 3 different mediums. 1 will be nail polish, 2 will be gel polish, and 3 will be dip powder. So I'm just going to show the application this one time, but here you can see I'm applying the Oont peel-off base coat on my pointer, the Hollow Taco one on my middle, and obviously the Sparkle & Co. on my ring nail. Then before any of the product application, I made sure all of the base coats were completely dry. And first, I'm going to be starting off with the nail polish. So this is a glitter from Holo Taco, and I'm going to be applying 2 coats of this shade to all of the nails, letting it dry completely, and I also sealed it in with a glossy top coat. Now, this is how I would normally do my nail polish application, so I'm doing everything just like I would normally do to keep this as consistent as possible. And then once all of the layers are on, I will come back for the peel-off test itself. Alright, so I let the nails dry fully for about 20 minutes, and now I'm going to be going in with an orange wood stick to see how well they peel off. So right off the bat, I noticed that the Oont Peel Off Base Coat nail wasn't exactly peeling off in one full sheet. It looked like the nail polish was still wet, and it possibly could be because I didn't wear it on for a long time. It was only a couple of minutes or so. However, normally I get a better peel. Yeah, so I don't know if I would really recommend the Oont Peel Off Base Coat for nail polish, but also I never have really had a super positive experience using peel off base coats with nail polish, so it totally depends on the wear of the polish itself on the nail, which then leads to the ability to have it actually peel off. So I'm just trying to scrape off any of the remnants I can, and you can see here it eventually all did come off the nails. It just took a little bit more effort. Now for the Holo Taco nail, this one came off in one clean sheet and was super easy to get all of the polish off the nail. And lastly, the Sparkle & Co nail. This one, just like the first one, did not want to come off in one full sheet. It actually hurt a little bit trying to get this one off because I had to poke so hard at the edges and my nail, so I don't really think the Sparkle & Co base works well with nail polish. So overall, my favorite for the nail polish pop-off removal was the Holo Taco Peely Base Coat. Now I'm going to be moving on to my gel polish experiment. So I'm going to be using this Madame Glam gel polish from their new Made in Color collection, and I will link the review I did for these polishes in the cards, so you can check that out if you're interested. But I'm going to apply 2 coats of this beautiful color to my nails, curing after each layer, and then I also applied the Madame Glam top coat on top to seal in the color. And now going into the peel test, the Oont Peel Off Base Coat worked super well, and it was super easy to pop off the gel polish. The Holo Taco nail also came off super easily and worked really well. And lastly, the Sparkle & Co one. This one did not come off easy. I had to pry at my nails super hard, and I was really just not having it with this peel off base coat because it was super difficult to actually get the gel polish to sort of lift off. And this could be because I didn't actually wear the nails out. I was trying to peel it off right after the application, but I still found that it was really difficult to work, and I didn't like the amount of pressure I had to apply to my nails. So out of this test, I definitely recommend the Oont or Holo Taco one, and personally it seemed like the Holo Taco peel off base coat worked slightly better, so I would have to say that one wins this test as well. And lastly, I'm going to be trying all of the peel off base coats with dip powder. So I'm going to be applying 2 coats of a colored dip powder to my nails, sealing it in with a gel top coat, and then peeling them off and seeing how they work. So I'm going to let you guys watch me quickly do this dip powder application, and I will be back for the peel test. Alright, so once again, starting off with the peel off base coat, this one came off super easily and I had no issues with the pop off removal. Same goes for the hollow taco nail, it popped off very easily. And lastly is the Sparkle & Co nail. Now once again, this one did not want to come off my nails. I had to put so much force on my natural nail and it almost felt like I was going to break it. So I ended up poking and prying a little bit more, but in the end I decided it was just easier to soak it off because I didn't want to put so much stress and damage on my natural nail. So now that we've gone through the basics and a peel-off demo, I'm going to be answering some of your guys' questions. So on my Instagram, I put out a story asking you guys to tell me any questions you have regarding peel-off base coats, so be sure to follow me on that if you haven't. But now I'm going to get right into the questions. So the first one is, what brands would you not recommend? I would not recommend the Sparkle & Co one. I've heard a lot of people actually really like it, so it's totally personal preference, but for me it just does not work. And I also would not recommend using straight up glue because it can be a little bit damaging on your nails. Next question is, how long do your nails last with peel off base coat? Now I answer this in quite a few comments under my videos, but generally I find that I get the nails to last about 2 to 3 days, and at the end of this video I will actually be doing a wear test, so stay tuned for that. The next question is, can you do peel base over clear dip or natural nails? And if it's over your natural nails, does it cause damage? So yes, you can put peel off base coat over clear dip, and I actually have showed that in a few videos. Basically, all you have to do is buff the clear dip powder super smooth, and then apply the peel off base coat on top, and the dip or whatever you have on top of the clear dip will come off super easily. And if you do apply it over your natural nails, does it cause damage? No, it doesn't if the peel off base coat is good quality and if you remove it gently. Next question is, would you include in your video the removal using the peel off base and how they pop off? Yes, I can, and I actually already included that previously in this video. Someone also asked, how many coats do you apply? Typically, I only apply 1 coat if I'm doing it over my natural nails. And if I'm doing it over clear dips, sometimes I will do 2 coats if I want them to come off a little bit easier, but normally I just go with a solid 1 coat and it works perfectly fine for me. Next is, how can peel off base coat last the longest possible, and what is the longest it's lasted for you? So if you want your peel off base coat nails to last a little bit longer than 2 to 3 days, I would recommend only applying the peel base to the center of the nail, avoiding the edges, and this will help prevent any early lifting. And the longest it's lasted for me, I would say probably 4 to 5 days. Typically though, I don't leave my nails on that long, so it's hard to answer that. Next up is, for dip nails, how long do they last with the peel off base coat? And does the Sparkle & Co peel off base coat work? So I already answered the first part of that question. Does the Sparkle & Co peel off base coat work? It does work, however not the greatest. I personally wouldn't recommend it. However, I really do like the Sparkle & Co peel base for working around the edges of the nail like a latex barrier. Next question is it worth it to purchase and use? I totally recommend investing in a good quality peel-off base coat if you want to easily pop off your nails. If you're going for longevity in your manicures, I wouldn't recommend it just because obviously this helps them peel off and come off. But if you are into that, I totally recommend purchasing it and using it. Next up is how can you do peel-off base coat with tips and dip powder? So this actually is a really interesting question. The best method I would recommend doing is applying the tips to your nails, doing a few layers of clear dip on top, and then buffing them smooth like I said before, and applying the peel-off base coat. This is how I normally do peel-off base coat with tips and dip powder. If you are asking if you can do it like on the natural nails and then put tips on top, I don't really see that working out. Next is how to do it with gel and dip powder. So I already kind of showed that in the beginning of the video with the demos, but basically all you have to do is apply a nice thin layer to the natural nail and it should come off with whatever medium you put on top. The next question is my favorites and to compare all of the ones I've tried. So my favorite would either be the Oont peel-off base coat or the Holo Taco one. It's honestly hard to say a favorite between those two just because they both work pretty much exactly the same. I would maybe say I like the Holo Taco one a little bit more just because it's easier to pop off, but that's totally a personal preference. And for the comparison, I already did that in the beginning. Next is, does the color of the peel-off base coat matter? No, it does not. However, I do find that the water-based peel-off base coats, which are usually clear, do tend to work a little bit better. However, the color doesn't really have an effect. I think it's more of just dependent on the base itself. Next is, does it work while using gel liquids and dip powder? Yes, it does. It totally works with using gel liquids and dip powder, along with dip liquids and dip powder, gel polish, nail polish, anything like that. It should work. Next is, how much lifting is there? So this is hard to say depending on how long you have the nails on, but typically there isn't too much lifting until the nails are about ready to peel off. I would say there's definitely more lifting if you use the peel-off base coat over the entire nail bed. But yeah, it's a little bit hard to say because it's really dependent on the length you have had the nails on. Next question is, how long do they last and do they damage your nails like gel can? So I already answered the first part, but do they damage your nails like gel? They do not damage your nails if they are gently removed and the peel-off base coat is good quality. And honestly, no product really damages nails. It's mainly about the removal and application. So I would say no, they don't damage your nails. Next up is, do you just pop them off or do they come off? This is also dependent on how long you have had them on. So let's say I film a video and want to take them off right away. You do have to put a little bit of effort into popping them off. But if I've already had them on for a day or so, they generally just tend to come off whether I'm washing my hands or doing any daily activities. So that was the last question of the Q&A, and now it is time to get into the wear test. So this is probably the part you guys have been requesting the most and wondering about, so how long do they last exactly? And in this wear test, I'll be showing all of the details of how they lasted for me. So here's a dip manicure I did with the peel-off base coats. This is day 1. I have the Holo Taco peel-off base coat under the orange nails and the Oont peel-off base coat under the pink nails. So on day 1, I had no signs of lifting and none of the nails have popped off. Here is a look at day 2. So earlier in the morning, I had my thumbnail pop off, and then later at night with the second picture, I also had my middle nail come off. So both of those nails used the peel-off base coat from Holo Taco, just in case you were wondering. But generally, a few of the nails still stayed on, but I did have a little bit more lifting on day 2. And lastly, on day 3, all of the nails have popped off and there is no dip powder remaining on my natural nails. So this is why I typically say they can last 2 to 3 days, because that is when I start to get lifting. But like I mentioned before, you can get them to last longer if you use the tips I stated previously. So that wraps up my peel-off base coat video. I hope you guys found everything I mentioned in this video helpful, and if you have any remaining questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments and I will try my best to get back to each and every one of you. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to give it a like and subscribe down below, and I will see you in the next one.